that whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this special video with me. As you can see here out in nature, it's very windy again today, and I have a little bit of story to share with you before I start my video today, because I've had a very interesting experience this week with the weather, with Mother Nature, with the new shift, because I feel a lot of you now are going through this transition phase when you're feeling a sense of wanting to begin something new, but it's not just about the work we do or the things that interest us, it's the level of vibration that it's like an add-on to our work. So if you've been following my videos for a while, you've been seeing that I've been mostly doing the talking, while a lot of the times, sometimes, I've offered a light activation or two and some of the singing, but I didn't really fully devote myself to this higher vibratory part of me and what wanted to come through. So as I've been going through these recent upgrades, I was shown that I actually have to start doing these videos in 3 segments, which is the first, the introduction of the topic that, comes through, my experiences, what Spirit shows me, and what we're going through as a collective of Ascension pioneers. And those of you who really feel in resonance with what I share will just know this through your own heart. You will feel what I've been saying. And to top it off, it's not just going to be about words that I'm saying. The next add-ons will be the channel message that I receive always through Holy Spirit, and the higher vibrational essence of pure sound. So the sound harmonics that is just going to come through my voice, all of it will be channeled, none of it will be prepared, because what I've had this beautiful experience in nature this week was I went for a run, right? As you know, I really love to do most of my time. And what happened was that all of a sudden there was a storm and I had nowhere to go. So there was a tiny bench there in nature, and I sat there, and there was this huge tree that covered most of the part where I sat on the bench. And I knew that I have to wait it out and see what happens. And as one time this huge lightning strike, right? It strikes. And I got scared at first. It's like this fear energy, because it felt like the lightning is right there next to me, and one huge part of me felt fear, and the tears came out because all of a sudden I got, when something just pushes that old out of you, and lightnings have that raw power and that potential to do that. So as I sat there, I started crying, and that crying all of a sudden became a sacred holy initiation. It became the words of mantra. It became a holy prayer, and as I was saying those words, I stopped thinking, I just fully surrendered, and I felt the energy of what I was saying and what Spirit pushed through me went into the sacred water crystals, how rain is then transferring that as information, and how everything is moving as the seed of life that begins with us. And we, those of us who have awakened that cosmic consciousness within us, in a way we've become these seeds of life. So what wanted to move through me all of a sudden started to kind of become like just these words of the sacred holy initiation and prayer, and everything rhymed, and it was also beautiful. And I remembered that for a while now I had this initiative in me, in my heart, that I have to start doing these things also more channeled way, and I saw myself doing this, and a part of me was still hiding that, and it didn't feel like it's the right time. I wasn't ready. So when I was pushed, I was almost pushed and squeezed into this tiny part of the bench, right? There was rain, pouring rain all around me, and I knew, oh my God, it's like me being squeezed. And sometimes we have to be pushed to the extreme to make the change. Even those of us who are pioneers, that's sometimes how we make those changes in a very drastic way. It's almost like we're building up, we're energetically being upgraded, and then a huge new step, a huge leap of faith comes forward. And I'm saying this, I'm having lots of energy and pulsation and tingles in my hands. So it's all having to do with transferring more energy. And just before that, I had a conversation with a sister of light, and she said to me, we don't need to kind of talk so much with words, because those of us who have truly awakened this divine resonance within ourselves, between each other, it's almost like we don't need as much words anymore. And I know that a lot of people, they might still feel the need for that. There's a lot of us who are already functioning on these higher levels. So when I'm going to do these videos with the topic, I'm going to do all these levels, right? And these levels will resonate into the particular vibration that you're still in a way you're tuning to. So there will be think for a little bit of everyone. So that's what I was shown. And the interesting thing was that then that mantra, that prayer that came out of me was just so beautiful. And, you know, when I speak these words that are completely channeled and divine and everything just rhymes, it's simple, it's basic, and yet it's who we truly are at our highest source level. And after that, I just started singing, and that song just carried that message forward. And that's what I'm being shown is we're like raising our frequency with not negating any aspect of us and saying, okay, words are not important, this is not important, or this is, light language is more important. But what we're doing, and we're showing, we're fusing this together. So in this introduction, I want to give a shout out to that, why you will feel and see now these changes in my videos, because as I embraced all these parts of me, not just for myself and keeping it just for me, but in a way also putting them in my sacred holy creations, because as you know, everything we do and we put outwardly and we radiate and emanate reaches people. So when I was visiting a sacred sister of mine last weekend, she said to me, oh my God, you have to start this with a song. It's so healing. It's my whole body pulsates. And I'm not saying everybody would feel the same, because it's still a matter of what level you're really attuning to. But I was called because there's a lot of those who would be awakened more with the more primordial sharing in that way. Not just the words, because the words only can come so far, and I was continuously show this in my whole ascending journey, that we're only going to come far as our ascending humanity with words and sharing quotes and wisdom and passing it on. It's important, but it's not where our ascending journey ends. It's just like one segment, but it's not the totality. And you've seen probably a lot of people were doing more light language and more light work and more light activations, and I used to do that too, but then I stopped for a while, and I was really more into doing these courses and sharing the knowledge that, it's this cosmic wisdom that I hold. But then a part of me was still unfulfilled, that it felt there's something more. And I envisioned myself for a while now how I just sit there and I pass this on, because when you're your sacred space of solitude, everything is so easy, it's so in flow. But then you have to appear here in front of the camera, and even though there's no one behind you, there's going to be thousands of people watching and tuning in. And it's still that energy. You're still plugging into the mass group of whoever is tuning in. And it's not easy. So for a lot of us have been shown, we're going to make these conscious jumps. We're going to make these steps in order to create on a new level of our new source existence. So if that applies to you and you've been having those nudges and callings, somehow find a way to integrate all these aspects of you. Because what I see through this triangulation energy, it's the sacred word, what I speak through the wisdom, and then passing it forth as the higher channel message of Holy Spirit, and then just pure voice, pure sound. I see that as the triad of our personality, our soul fusion, and our spirit. So when these meet, we really are a complete human I am transferred in a human body, and that's why we're shown this as this change. So I wanted to announce this. But for those of you who want to move more deeply into my Holy Spirit messages, I have 7 sacred messages there on my page. It's under personal services on my page, Serapina Light, and you can see and download them directly, because a lot of people sometimes ask me, what is Holy Spirit? I don't get it. They have a more Christian or religion kind of view over that, and they want to feel into it as what I share on my page. It's written down, plus a lot of it is transferred through these messages of Holy Spirit. It's just the primordial life force, and we can all tune into it. And it's not just for the few or for those who are chosen. We have to step up and remember what it is, so that this voice through our own sacred chalice starts to be emitted, transmitted, and in a way embodied. So I wanted to give this as a shout out, as that introduction before I move into today's topic. Okay, so that's it. And I just want to talk about what I really have prepared for today's video. So my sweet beloveds, in today's video, I really want to talk about what is happening as the waves that are kind of being integrated on this planet. Just yesterday I watched this video. Someone was saying that this first wave that we've entered into, and a lot of it, as I've shared in my previous cosmic update, has to do with the entrance into the light emanations of the cosmic belt. This cosmic belt, as known as the photon belt, is bringing almost like this complete rewrite for those of us who are ready, for those ascending humans who are ready to jump off into a new timeline of the collective ascension. So the thing is that the ascension, as I've shared before, as the physical ascension, as in terms of soul alchemy, as in direct resurrection as well, not just spiritually moving in a new frequency, but doing this in your body vehicle form, as that's how we really transform. And we've had masters and way showers that showed us bits and pieces of how this is going to be done for those who are going to start experiencing this as in this new age comes, as the shifting point comes. So this has been going on in layers and phases. So I've been presented yesterday with that sharing that began initially, that first wave hit us on last year, 2015, in September. It was at the end of September. People said day 27, 28, and that's what a lot of information started pouring through about the first wavers, the first ascending wave. So the second wave is supposed to be this year. It was in March 20th, and the third wave is June 20th. So it's not so much about the dates, as you know, it's more about cosmic timelines, when everything in divine orchestration kind of locks. It kind of creates this interlocking point of when things are set on all levels. A lot of times we as humans don't understand, and we say, why are things happening so slowly? Why are there delays? Why aren't we experiencing what we've said we're going to experience? Is because we don't fully align when all levels truly lock. So our physical ascension means that even our physicality will have that experience of bliss, of joy, of that bubbling cosmic love and truth and union. So what was shared about this today during my run was that that first stage was actually for those of us who we've been saying, okay, we're the first wave. What did this mean? What does that mean? Because a lot of people say things, but you know, I'm always seeking for a greater meaning, what that meant for us as an ascending collective. And it really depends on what you've chosen at that time, in that particular time frame. But I was shown actually that last year in September, the first choice of our ascension needed to be with the self, choosing yourself and choosing your personal ascension timeline once and for all. The second timeline, which we refer to here as people saying it's in March, it was in March, had to do with embracing the sacredness of the sisterhood of the brotherhood of light. And personally, I had so many experiences confirming this, and I'll go deeper into this as I explain a bit, is that truly the collective of ascending humans started to come together, right? But this last aspect that we're anchoring now, that we're going to anchor, it's going to occur during the solstice, and it's going to be another full moon in Sagittarius at the same time. And you know that this month we also have a Grand Cross and a Grand Trine, which is such an immense transformation energy for all of us. And what this means, I was shown the last step is embracing unity, complete inner beloved unity. And for a lot of us, this will start manifest as sacred reunions. Because we've been talking about this holy reunion, becoming descended as well, not just experienced as an essence form. And a lot of us had the sacred call. We had these callings, what to do to prepare, because our bodies physically need to be at a certain vibration alignment to be a match for that beloved union. Please bear with me and stay updated, because as the weather gets better here, we had a lot of rain, so just had some sunshine and I had to do the video. But as it gets better, I'm going to record the video on this preparation, the energetic work, how to prepare. A lot of it is going to deal with the tantric yoga that I was shown through spirit, which are very important techniques and exercises. Very simple though. It's not something fancy. But for those of us who really want this in physical form, it has to be done, because when I see a lot of people talking about these reunions, still a lot of it is just mental, plain based. Or it's, you think of something, you think of the reunion, you think you want something, and it's based on your thinking and your thoughts. But the actual union in your physical form, you know, with that coiling serpent merge of the yin-yang polarities, first had to be, you know, done by you embracing your inner polarities, which was that first ascension wave, choosing yourself, doing this energetic work within you, as in the alteration of your ascending template. It's your energy form that started to match up with that and vibrate with that frequency. Choosing the brotherhood and sisterhood in the next step is something that I was personally really strongly experiencing, and I will share a bit about this after I finish this explanation. But this third stage, why is this so important? Because it's almost like we needed to collectively assist each other to kind of help each other find those last missing links of what we need to do to physically prepare for those unions. Because Ascension is also that union and the divine partnership in order to co-create. And what I'm shown now is that so many beings are moving away from these karmic experiences, from completing the karmic cycles. Of course, we're in a 9 universal year, which totally makes sense. And because of that, we're feeling like this almost intense wrap-up. So if we haven't done this work, personally for me, I had a 7-year-old cycle when I needed to master those energies. At the first awakening period of mine, I was just reintroduced to those energies. And I was shown, look, these are the aspects you need to work with as a human master. But the second aspect, after those 7 culminating years, I needed to physically meet those energies again to see how my physical body now reacts to them, responds to them, and basically co-creates in a new way. For a lot of us, this was expressed as the energies with those feelings we were still hiding. You know, for me, I was very relaxed, very outgoing, and sharing with the people that are of the like vibration and that kind of really meet you with respect and grace and dignity. And that awe, you know, and brotherhood and sisterhood, and that's what we've been anchoring now. But when there were people who were less than that in their frequency of embodiment and their personal journey, a part of us was, and how it was for me, was still hiding, and it still didn't want to speak the full truth, and it still hide a bit, you know, it was still hiding a bit, or covert, you know, like covert, kind of like a rather hide and seek, not really face what's there, especially when there's very dense human choices, energies at present, like manipulation, intense illusion, you know, finger pointing, accusations, rejections, all of that, guilt, shame, blame, all of that, which is something we've all needed to repattern again. That inner ascension template, which needed to be restored, not fragmented anymore. So as we've been choosing this, we've started to bring that fragmentation back into unity. And those of us who came here as guides, understanding this process, it doesn't mean we didn't have to do the work. We had to do the same work. We've took on the same templating, the same distortions, the same karmic energies, because we, in order to help the humanity and people at large, we needed to go through this. We cannot help with the mind. Just saying, yeah, I understand you, I get you, but to really compassionately feel what was going on. And the merge of, let's say you have a relationship and you're only seeing the highest ideal or potential about it, and let's say that person is not physically embodying that, and you're giving them your power by seeing only the highest aspect, and you're defending them, and you're saying, oh, they have such a nice energy, but they are not really like that, and yet they are choosing those actions which are not fully aligned with that inner integrity, and you're still defending them, and you're still choosing to be with them. And that's how we actually give those energies more space to flourish and continue in that old mode, right? And we've all been and done that. We've been there, we've done that. So the thing was that we needed to learn both, the discernment of the higher mind plus the human compassionate heart, which is you see through the experience, you see through the illusion, and yet you have to choose yourself. You have to choose your ascending vibration. If you're going to continuously choose others because just their highest potential, you're not going to see the reality of what they're actually living and embodying. You're going to continuously feed that delusion and be in that illusion, and actually also support their illusion to continue to exist. Because a lot of people still don't have the understanding of how the matrix sucks in all of their life force, and because they're empty without it. I know people who are special examples of this, and it's such a classical, you know, like classroom prototype way that it's so obvious, and yet they don't know because they're so in it, they're so sucked into it, they can't even wake up from it. And for a lot of these people, what we've been doing so far, we've been still kind of like babying them and mothering them and saying, they don't know what they do because they don't know, you know. It doesn't matter. It wasn't about that. It was about us waking up to that higher discernment also in the physical body. So we might have that authority, divine discernment with our higher spirit understanding, but do we live it? Do we own up to it? How do we actually function when we're physically, you know, in front of those energies, when they're right in our face? Of course, a lot of us had this, oh, I'd rather don't deal with it, I'd rather hide. But this is not a true mastery. The true mastery is seeing what is that energy, what is that template, what is that distortion, and seeing how you now in your chosen ascension self, your vertical self, how you horizontally align with that. And how are you dealing with this now? Because when your responses change, they do, because you've done the inner work. It's just a matter of you needing to retune, refine that, right? So In my own experience, what I've noticed is that through these experiences and through this culmination of such cycles, what started to take place is that the feminine energy really rose very high, to a high degree of vibration. And at that point, me personally, in my experience, because I was so alone in what I did and what I shared, and always being that cosmic activator for others, I didn't have so much space in meeting these energies outwardly as well, which started to happen from this year on for me. And clue after clue, you know, pieces through pieces of you like decoding this, what's really happening. I've been seeing how much the sacred sisterhood has been coming together. And this was that divine feminine energy that was driving for these sacred communions between women who are awakening into their divine feminine. The same goes for men if they're very specific into unlocking their inner sacred feminine. And I know a lot of these men, especially online, there's a lot of beautiful examples like this. But people who are still not integrated, who are still fragmented, they're responding differently to life. At the same time, with the sacred brotherhood, this also took place between the men who are awakening within their divine masculine. But we as women, we've probably experienced one part of this polarity. What's happening now is that because of that, we've kind of joined in together. We've kind of helped each other had and gather those final pieces of the equation, what we need for a complete divine reunion in the physical. I'm not talking about you saying I want a certain twin flame or a soulmate or whatever. I'm talking about the physical reunion, which is all levels aligned as one. The physical is not separate. Can you hold that level of devotion and attainment in that? That sacred divine tantric partnership, because tantra means to be fully present with yourself and another. It does not necessarily denote sexual orientation. And watch for my video coming on this topic, because this will be kind of like that last key of what we need to do here to really, really integrate that. But I want to say that because of this sisterhood coming together, the energy was so strong that these disrupted frequencies, these fragmented ways of being, and people who were still sucked into the matrix, they could no longer have the same effect to us that they did before, because the sisterhood created such a nice, beautiful space of that sacred sharing, of intimacy. And when you see another seeing you, loving you, valuing you, giving you worth just for who you are. And I wasn't used to that in my life, because I was always the one loving that way, but I didn't feel how it is to be loved that same way in return. But when I did, this opened my human heart to a next level of human compassion. And it showed me that it is possible, that such love can exist between sisters and brothers. And I've had many situations when I felt just how much this helps the whole. And for example, when I was standing right in front of those old energies, when I was faced up with those choices, I felt just how much we've already shifted. Because in the near proximity of that energy, of seeing that as your mirror, it really felt like being in the old paradigm. For me, it felt like, that's no longer my truth. I cannot choose it. It's just something that we're no longer choosing, and a lot of us were kind of like in between the spaces, so we could feel that old and new and how it is to live between worlds. And that's something that's not easy for people to master, because in between stages can be most rocky in a way. They can make you feel the most confused. And a lot of people don't get it, and they think that's something wrong with them. But what's really happening is that there's like this, like I've shared before, this dynamic tension that you start to feel, right? And once you start feeling this, you will feel mirrors of both the old system that still feeds duality and separation, that which is the new. And in between the two, what the Ascension pioneers are doing is creating a cohesion and fusion, not running away from it and saying, ugh, this old sucks, right? Let's judge it. But it's just simply taking in what was integrated, what was learned, and creating this cohesion, this unity. That's what we were doing. And watch my video with the latest galactic update when I explained this through the laws of extrapolation and how we're actually taking bits and pieces of that old, so we're actually knowing how to apply it in our new. Because our awareness changed. When we look at the old situations, we see we can no longer apply the same techniques or ways of communication. For example, if you've transcended your reactive energy and you made it now responsive, which is you consciously respond through your inner and outer being, merge it as one, your I am knowing, then you've seen that these old hooks no longer work for you. But what this created is confusion with people. They don't understand, they don't get you, they're trying to still hook you in with these kind of manipulative schemes even sometimes, and you will see it just no longer works. And it's funny because today when I was running, I was actually starting to laugh. I said how funny it is. Even though at times we still feel we're old, we're so not. It's just memory that we're still holding. So this memory created like this membrane, and this membrane now is truly being dissolved by us moving through all these 3 stages. So the last stage is this union stage, when you can have and prepare your sacred body for the physical union. And a lot of us are hearing the call and we're feeling like something's happening. We're not sure how to place it, but it's no longer a mental thing. You're being shown exactly what you need to do physically to prepare for that. And I will share that in my next video update when I'm gonna really integrate the topic. But I want to start with the next thing. Before I move into this deeper channel mode, I want to present I want to offer us all this light activation that I received, because it's very important for us in this new that we are constantly going to be met by the energies of the new, which is higher love, high respect, integrity, compassion, higher human compassion, both as one, locked in with the cosmic sacred heart, brotherhood, sisterhood. And with that, right, people who will try to maybe still hook us or not understand or try to bring us down a bit, they can't enter into our space if they don't have one of these vibrational keys. Because in the old, right, we've had a lot of this dualistic beliefs like, oh, let's shield ourselves and I'm going to refract that energy right back to them. And basically this just creates more bouncing off and more of the duality. It's not mine, pass it up to you. I mean, I know everyone has to walk through their own responsibilities, but in unity consciousness we do these things a bit differently. So let's move now into the sacred light activation that's going to actually present a new template of how we can be still met by all the energies, but they need to, if they want to come close to our proximity by respecting us and our devotion and where we are vibrationally, they need to have that vibrational alignment in order to reach us. So let's start with that light activation. Beloved one, welcome to the sacred shared space. It's going to be very simple light activation. All that we will do is we will tune into the crystalline light pyramid, which is a new light grid pyramid, actually the vehicle of Merkaba, because it's creating a star tetrahedron formation of our Star of David, our inner Merkaba for the vehicle of our ascension. So in the past, when we had still glimpses of duality moving through us, we might have, when something was uncomfortable for us, and there were things we still didn't know how to deal with, or they felt too dense, we judged them a bit, you know, these lower frequencies. What we're doing now with this technique is, instead of shielding ourselves through building walls and creating walls around us and refracting energy and kind of like beaming it up, you know, it's just going to, in a way, it's just going to continuously be bouncing back, you know, on and off or between you and another. So that just creates a bounce ball effect. What we're doing here with this technique is what Spirit showed me is basically we're aligning with the new unity template. So it's not a pyramid, or, you know, this pyramid, if you imagine it structured on top of you and below you, which creates a Merkaba vehicle, is actually created of liquid crystalline light. So before I move into the activation, I want to give you a visual that imagine yourself sitting in between, in the middle of this crystalline formation, almost like liquid light, Merkaba, which is your vehicle for ascension, and that it's completely translucent. Almost imagine it like a gel with the little sparkles inside. That's how I see it. And when you're in that formation, we're going to work with the sacred symbols of the sacred seals that basically are placed within every side, within every layer of the formation of our Merkaba. And these are energetic vibratory keys. And with the being approached by another in unity consciousness, if they wish to kind of have an exchange with us that benefits and uplifts them, they're going to have one of these keys, whatever they're going to wish to integrate. If they're going to wish to integrate integrity, or they're going to have to, they will want to move deeper into love, they will have to possess a certain amount of that frequency, which does not create a distortion for you, because a lot of times in the past what we've been doing is we've been giving off pieces of ourselves because we thought that's actually helping another, and that's duality. We felt we needed to share our own fragments to make others less fragmented, and that's not really the truth. That's not true love. That's not unity. in this new space, we're only being the ambassadors, we're being crystalline beings of that new mastery, new self-mastery, the crystalline liquid light essence, which continuously and constantly feeds us from within. It's a constant self-nourishing act of love. And with that, there's always plenty, there's always enough, because we're not doing it or helping or assisting from a fragmented way. So what this means is, if before we still had patterns within us that we dealt with needing to fix, save, or rescue, now we're seeing we are actually helping by being where we are the most, because we're consciously emanating that out anyway. And we don't need always so much words, defending our positions, defending who we are, fighting for our differences, fighting for our, highest vibrational attainment. No, it's just being in it. It's just basking in it. And that's this level that we will activate in this activation. So if you have a moment in your sacred time and space, just close your eyes. And as always, I like to say, for us to really move deeper into spirit, surround yourself with the circle of white light, and I'll see it growing into a beautiful crystalline sphere. Within that sphere, within that orb of pure, translucent, almost like plasmic light, you see your crystalline Star of David, your Merkaba ascending vehicle for your physical ascension, starting to formulate around you. So one pyramid level on top, one pyramid below you, creating a balanced polarity of masculine and feminine essence within you, and seeing yourself as the driving force, the life force that's in the middle of that sacred vehicle. So in that space of that liquid light formation, you feel completely protected, you feel completely nourished by your space of unity. So in that space of unity, you don't have to feed others from certain parts of you, because you're no longer fragmented yourself. You're going to serve now in a new way through the light of unity. So imagine now that each side, right, of this Merkaba vehicle has a holy sacred symbol enmeshed within it. And just by activating these sacred seals, which are vibratory keys, we're already putting them in our vehicle just by choosing it. We're choosing to align with those sacred unity essences. I'm going to say these vibrational keys, and as I'm doing it, you're doing it, and we're doing it together. And as we're doing it, imagine a wide sparkling light of spirit. It's almost like coming from below your feet, from the center of the earth, and moving upwards. The spiral of ascension with these key codes is starting to rise up, and it's lifting your frequency up. It's you choosing it, it's also choosing you. So see that as well, being coiled around this beautiful formation of your crystalline Merkaba. Take a deep breath. Now imagine that all of these vibratory keys are now being locked within you, within your vehicle, and that you're holding the space of unity now. You're no longer a fragmented being. You have activated your inner ascension template. You've made the choice for your personal ascension timeline. You've activated the sacred brotherhood and sisterhood of light, joined with many, many multidimensional aspects of who you are. What also has been done is now you, with this activation for a physical ascension, you're preparing for that reunion phase. So you're doing that in cosmic triangulation. Now let's put in those key codes so they actually form with that decree, which we're doing now is this divine decree. They're formulating our new crystalline grid around us. Within each unified human being, the Homo Luminous, the light human being, still on earth, but the ascended, descended human, which is ready to co-create within a new creation cycle. Now imagine these keys being placed all over your ascension vehicle. So here we go. First key. Respect for all life and all life forms. Second key. Full-on sovereign integrity. Choosing choices within your ascension timeline. choosing as your sovereign whole self. Third key, complete state of compassion. Compassion for the higher, bigger picture at play, and compassion for the human heart and the human experience, both interlocked in the cosmic human heart space. Key 4, complete alignment. All your physical bodies, mental, emotional, spiritual, causal, etheric, all these bodies are being merged, are being reawakened and rooted as your new template. Fifth key, sovereign communication, harmonious exchange with others that is not based on attachments and energy hooks, complete harmony of total self-acceptance in that of others. And the sixth key, complete state of divine love in union. Divine love is human love is divine love. And in that seventh level, which is merging all your lower bodies, is that space for the unity. The unity of your totality, of the wholeness of your soul. And that is within you. That's rooted within you. So imagine all these 6 key codes around you and the 7th within your inner plane, your inner self. And now imagine that as you're being and existing in the physical experience still, that star of Merkaba always exists. It is you. It formulates all that starts to be the external reality. And when you're being met by other people, experiences, or people coming to you for services or just to share with you, whatever they wish to share, whatever level they wish to integrate, they need to have the proper vibrational alignment of coming to you through humility, through respect, which is that mutual exchange, integrity, and love. So now give that solemn decree to yourself that you're meeting life now on the level that you're meeting yourself. And that you're no longer requiring experiences on the karmic levels that tie you and hook you to the old matrix grid, because it is dissolving, and by you dissolving that within you, you're helping it to dissolve at large. So by you choosing all these main key codes, you're choosing yourself always first and foremost. You choose yourself first before you're choosing externally. Before you're choosing other people, before you're choosing where to go, what to experience. You're always going to come back to that equanimity of that primordial essence of who you are. And just see that light, that liquid light, always being contained and self-preserved, self-maintained, because it is coming from that unified self. And on this level, your angelic human, the 7th density self. And now you emanate that outwardly and see this shine going outwards. You see it reaching other people. You see it reaching those that are ready, because when they're ready, they will meet you through respect, love, integrity, and compassion. Otherwise, you're not going to create blockages. You're not going to create walls and push away. You're no longer going to act from duality. What you will do is you will offer a sacred space, but for them to enter in divine timing, which means when they're ready, which means they have to align with those vibrational keys in order to meet you. So you meet them through co-creational assistance, no longer by helping, saving, and rescuing. With that, you truly, truly own your sovereign being as a member of the galactic family of one. You're truly raising the standards not just for yourself, but for others as well. Because if we continue to persist in feeding those illusions, we're not really doing the work. We're not really helping others, because love is not feeding those illusions for the reason of keeping safety on the surface, but it's really not safe. It's really not unified. So feel that as your only truth from now on. Decree it solemnly. Feel it within your heart. Write it, draw it, paint it, sing it, whatever feeds your inner space and your outer experience. And let's now move on to the channel part of the message. So be it and so it is. I love you all so very much. It is the sweetest beloved that is starting to rise within you. It is your awakening power that unveils everything that is true. What is unfolding for you now is something that you're no longer feeling just as in this space and time. You're unlocking the potential that is completely divine. This holy union of your truest self cannot be placed in simple terms, in words of men, and that which we forget can. In its truest form, the light quotient that grows within you is something that emerges as the purity, untouched, untainted, unreserved. The light particle that sparkles, the true nature of you becoming, embodying, enriching, and sharing with all that is new. So as you walk your path, that not always is so easy, remember there is others. You have brothers, you have sisters, you have yourself and your family of light. And they always walk within the greatest might. They know you, these aspects of you, far better than you know yourself. And when you feel the subtle voice, the reality that you are unlocking and freeing yourself into, you're beginning to see and feel all that you are and comes through all that you're not. There are also times of confusion and great delusion, but the sovereign heart never ceases to amaze. And there's many who are moving through this cosmic maze. What is true is not what appears to be. What is true is only that which fully sets you free. And you will know that by the nudging in your heart, but the sacred songs that are being sung to you at times when you feel most alone, and yet you know that everything you're experiencing is always true. The voice of the experience is the highest octave in a human form. It makes you feel how it is to truly be born on this plane of existence, to touch, to feel, to hear, to see, to smell. And all of that is now ascending to a higher level. You know that oh so well. So when you hear that subtle nudge or a tiny voice of doubt, don't forget that even that is what it's all about. For you to embrace your full human potential, you have to go through every layer, through every shackle of illusion, so that finally what appears to be is set free, and the seed of that already lives in all of humanity. And the emanations that you bring, that you share within yourself, are far greater than you will ever know. And by you, as a human, not knowing it all, it is a waste to even try to understand. But feel you shall, and know you will. because it comes in the precious moments when you feel sometimes completely lost and like you've lost your inner voice. But my sweet beloved, that is when the voice truly comes and plays an octave that you've never heard before. And that is something truly worth living for. Trust yourself and all that moves from your sacred heart space, because it's always an offering of grace to all whom you meet and interact with, as a human and as a divine being, for both are one. You know your path, for your path knows you. And all you have to do is say, yes, it is true. Let these words so wholly be placed on your sacred tongue that you never again say a word of discouragement to yourself and others, that you see your brothers and sisters as one, even when they might seem to be tumbling and stumbling. For in truth, we are one. Their experiences do not have to match with yours. They're choosing their own tasks and chores, and that is perfectly okay, because you know your own way. And so, for us to truly unite in the most blessed of all hearts and all the Almighty, everything in spite, all is turned to love. And all is set free. And the seed of that, remember those words again, has already been placed within all of humanity. You are that seed. You are the rising new dawn. And when you no longer continue to forget that, that is when you truly will hear that call. And boy, answer it you shall. For you will know it all so well. And you will know that your time has come, that this time is now, and that the things you know, and the things you feel, and that which you see is here to serve all humanity. Blessed be, bless your sacred holy heart, and all of the path, and all the paths of all. We are one.